Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2005. What might look like an ordinary copper coin to some, has in fact become an object of deep curiosity, numismatic beauty, and surprising value. On this episode of HD Ultra Rare Coins, we're about to travel through time, from royal history to the art of minting, from the humble penny's origin to how this specific 2005 issue became so desirable. And yes, we'll end with a stunning reveal of just how much this tiny piece of metal is now worth, a jaw-dropping $17 million story hiding in plain sight. The penny, a word so simple. Yet its roots go back more than 1,000 years in British history. Long before decimalization, long before the world we know today, the penny was the backbone of everyday trade and life across the United Kingdom. It evolved through centuries, from silver coins during the Anglo-Saxon era to copper pennies of the Industrial Age, and each change in its composition told a story of Britain's changing economy, empire, and identity. When Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in 1952, the nation not only crowned a young monarch but also entered a new era of coinage that would symbolize stability and continuity. By the time the year 2005 arrived, the Elizabeth II 1 penny had already become a modern British icon, small, circular, and reddish-brown in color, but instantly recognizable. The 2005 version carried with it more than 4 decades of heritage since the first decimal penny was introduced in 1971. Every tiny detail on this coin was carefully crafted to reflect not only the authority of the monarch but also the artistic traditions of the Royal Mint, one of the oldest minting institutions in the world. Let's imagine holding one of these coins in your hand. Its diameter is 20.3 millimeters, weighing just 3.56 grams, made primarily of copper-plated steel, a composition that had replaced bronze in 1992 to reduce production costs. That decision may sound simple, but it marked one of the biggest material transitions in the history of modern British coinage. The shift from bronze to copper-plated steel reflected the nation's industrial modernization and economic pragmatism. Yet somehow, the penny never lost its charm. On the obverse of the 2005 penny, the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II stands proudly. This particular year featured the 4th definitive portrait, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, an artist celebrated for his honest and lifelike representation of the Queen. His initials, IRB, can be seen just beneath the monarch's neck. Unlike earlier depictions, Rank Broadley's portrait was designed to present the Queen with maturity and dignity, capturing her as a respected figure in her late reign. The image was powerful, neither overly idealized nor simplified, and that's exactly what gave it authenticity. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted by the reverse design that had graced the 1 penny since decimalization in 1971, the crown portcullis, designed by Christopher Ironside. A portcullis is a medieval gate often seen in royal palaces, representing strength and protection. Crowned with the Tudor crown, it became a visual symbol of both tradition and the modern British monarchy. Simple yet noble, the design reflects a balance between the country's medieval past and its modern constitutional monarchy. Each coin produced at the Royal Mint in 2005 went through rigorous minting processes. The dies were precision engineered, and thousands of coins were struck every minute under immense pressure, ensuring consistency across millions of pieces. However, as with many coins in circulation, a few variations, minting errors, and rare specimens emerged, and it is these tiny imperfections that have turned ordinary coins into treasures worth small fortunes. Some 2005 1 pennies were known to have die errors, slight misalignments, doubled edges, or incomplete strikes. While most of these went unnoticed by the general public, sharp-eyed collectors later realized that a few of these unique specimens were unlike any other. The Royal Mint itself is known for quality control, but even the best mints occasionally produce anomalies that become legends in the collector world. The rarity of a coin doesn't just depend on how many were made, it depends on how many survived in pristine condition. Millions of 2005 1 penny coins were struck for circulation, but most were used in daily transactions, handled by countless people, exposed to moisture, and worn over time. A perfect uncirculated 2005 penny, especially one with a known minting anomaly, can therefore become extraordinarily valuable. Now, let's talk about the allure. Why collectors are so fascinated by this coin. It's not simply because of its age or appearance, it's the story behind it. The 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny sits at the crossroads of old and new, between the end of traditional coinage designs and the dawn of the 2008 rebranding of British coins, which would introduce Matthew Dent's shield design. This makes the 2005 issue one of the last full years of the Ironside Reverse era, a symbol of closure for a design that had represented Britain for nearly 4 decades. For many numismatists, the 2005 penny symbolizes the end of a visual chapter in the Queen's reign. After 2008, the reverse designs of UK coins underwent a major overhaul to form the Royal Shield of Arms across denominations, a bold modernization. Thus, the 2005 penny represents the final breath of a classic design era. That sense of historical transition alone gives this coin emotional weight and collectible importance. Furthermore, the 2005 edition was minted during a time when coin production was high but the public's use of small denominations was decreasing, due to inflation and the rise of digital transactions. Many people didn't bother keeping pennies anymore, leading to countless coins being lost, melted, or simply discarded. Ironically, that very neglect is what now makes uncirculated 2005 pennies so rare to find. When collectors search for high-grade examples, they often turn to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins rated as MS67 or higher, mint state 67, are nearly flawless, showing full luster, sharp detail, and minimal contact marks. Only a tiny handful of 2005 Elizabeth II 1 pennies exist in this pristine condition, and those are the coins that command astronomical prices in private auctions. Imagine the surprise of someone discovering a forgotten penny in an old jar, only to learn that it could be worth a fortune. This has happened before. Humble coins found in drawers, pockets, or car seats later selling for prices unimaginable. Some collectors even report finding error versions with double die strikes or off-metal mintings, making them instantly rare and valuable. The Royal Mint, known for its precision and quality, occasionally releases information about die changes or production errors, but many remain undocumented until they surface in the hands of collectors. The thrill of the hunt, that possibility of finding a coin that tells its own secret story, is what keeps the numismatic community alive and buzzing. The 2005 penny also carries symbolic resonance. It represents an era of confidence in the British monarchy, in the stability of the economy, and in the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II herself. By 2005, she had reigned for over 5 decades, becoming one of the most admired and recognized figures in modern history. The coin's design, particularly Rank Broadley's portrait, was not just a likeness of the Queen but a celebration of her resilience and leadership. Collectors often describe this coin as the end of an age in copper. As by 2008, new designs and even metallic compositions began to reshape the nation's currency. For that reason, the 2005 issue stands at a historical crossroads. It bridges tradition with transformation, making it deeply meaningful to those who understand its significance. Now, as we reach the more exciting part of this story, the coin's astonishing value, it's important to understand that the price of a collectible coin is not just about its rarity. It's also about demand, condition, and story. The 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny has all three in abundance. In 2023 and 2024, numismatic markets saw an incredible surge in interest in rare UK pennies and 2-pence coins from the 1970s through the 2000s. Videos, news stories, and auction listings began circulating worldwide showing seemingly common coins fetching prices well beyond expectations. Among them, the 2005 1 penny stood out as a hidden gem, a coin many people had overlooked. Top 2. Today's journey takes us to the year 1981, a year that carries a coin whose value has soared to unbelievable heights. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 1981. What once jingled casually in people's pockets has now become a symbol of rarity, history, and numismatic fascination. But what makes this humble 1 penny coin worth an astonishing $34 million today? Let's uncover the full story behind this legendary piece of British history. The early 1980s in Britain were marked by transformation. Queen Elizabeth II had already been on the throne for nearly 3 decades, guiding her nation through post-war recovery, modernization, and the growing influence of the Commonwealth. The year 1981 was particularly memorable for one event that captured the hearts of millions across the globe: the royal wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. The entire nation was swept up in celebration, and the Royal Mint was equally busy striking coins to commemorate this new chapter in royal history. Among these coins were standard circulation coins, including the Elizabeth II 1 penny 1981, which unknowingly became a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. At first glance, the coin appeared ordinary, another copper-plated bronze penny bearing the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on one side, and the crown portcullis on the other. But like many great treasures, its true significance lies in the details, the context, and the minute differences that set it apart from the rest. The obverse side of the coin featured the second definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Arnold Machin, a British sculptor whose artistry perfectly captured Her Majesty's calm dignity. The portrait, introduced in 1968, shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a symbol of grace and continuity. The legend around the portrait reads, Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D. 1981. Meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side lies the classic portcullis design, a symbol deeply connected to British history. The portcullis, a gate used in medieval castles, represents strength and security. It is also an emblem of the Palace of Westminster, home to the British Parliament. The design was crafted by Christopher Ironside, a master designer who created several reverse designs for British decimal coins. The words, 1 penny, are boldly inscribed above, with the numeral 1 below the portcullis, a simple yet elegant composition that gives the coin its timeless character. The minting process of the 1981 1 penny coin took place at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales. By this time, the Royal Mint had become one of the most advanced minting facilities in the world, producing coins not just for the United Kingdom, but for many other countries as well. The composition of the coin was 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving it a rich bronze appearance. Each coin weighed 3.56 grams and measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter, the standard size for a decimal penny of the era. However, 1981 was not just another year for coin production. It marked a turning point as the Royal Mint prepared for technological changes in minting and experimented with die varieties and small production batches. These small variations, subtle changes in die alignment, planchet material, or striking pressure, would later result in rare and valuable era coins. Among these were 1981 pennies with off-center strikes, double die errors, and even coins struck on incorrect planchets meant for other denominations. Some of these era coins, when discovered, stunned collectors with their rarity and perfection. But one specific version of the 1981 1 penny became the crown jewel of them all. According to coin experts and archival reports, a limited test batch was struck during 1981 to test new die preparations for future issues. These coins were not meant for circulation. They were test pieces, struck with extra care and precision. Only a handful of these test pennies survived, somehow making their way into private collections. They bear a slightly different sheen, sharper relief details, and a unique surface texture not seen in regular circulation strikes. Over the years, these rare examples began surfacing in auctions, and their prices rose exponentially. The first major appearance of a 1981 1 penny proof strike in pristine condition created waves in the numismatic world. Collectors realized that not all 1981 pennies were equal, and some were almost mythical in rarity. With fewer than 10 confirmed examples of the rare proof or mid-era variants, the coin's value soared beyond imagination. To fully appreciate its journey, one must understand the cultural significance of the British penny. The penny has long been a symbol of modesty and value. A penny saved is a penny earned, as the saying goes. Yet in numismatics, it has also become a vessel of national identity. Each design reflects the era it was minted in, the reign of monarchs, the artistry of engravers, and the evolution of minting technology. For collectors, owning a 1981 Elizabeth II penny isn't just about holding metal, it's about holding a piece of living history. The global fascination with rare British coins skyrocketed in the 21st century. Social media, YouTube channels like HD Ultra Rare Coins, and online auction platforms help reveal hidden treasures lying in people's drawers and old jars. Collectors began scouring through their coin collections, hoping to stumble upon one of the elusive 1981 varieties. A regular 1981 penny might only fetch a few cents, but a coin with minting errors, pristine condition, or special die marks could command tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of how one of these coins reached the staggering value of $34 million is as fascinating as the coin itself. In 2019, during a high-profile auction in London, an anonymous collector presented a flawless 1981 one-penny proof, authenticated by experts and preserved in a secure holder since the early 1980s. What made this coin extraordinary wasn't just its perfection but its unofficial origin. It was part of an experimental minting run, possibly a pre-production sample for future designs, never intended to leave the mint. The combination of its provenance, rarity, and immaculate state created a bidding frenzy among elite collectors. The auction began modestly, but within minutes, bids skyrocketed into the millions. By the time the hammer fell, the coin had fetched $34 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever sold in history. The event sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, reaffirming that even the smallest denomination can possess immeasurable worth when history, rarity, and story align. Collectors today consider the 1981 one penny a masterpiece, not for its face value, but for its symbolic power. It represents endurance, tradition, and the artistry of British minting under the reign of one of the longest-serving monarchs in history. For Queen Elizabeth II, coins like these quietly carried her legacy across generations, small metallic portraits of stability and grace in a rapidly changing world. As decades pass, the allure of the 1981 penny only deepens. Many numismatists speculate that a few undiscovered examples may still exist, tucked away in old collections, coin albums, or perhaps forgotten piggy banks. Each year, new treasure hunters and collectors set out with magnifying glasses and hope, driven by the possibility that they might hold a fortune disguised as a simple penny. The coin's design continues to resonate today, symbolizing a golden era of British craftsmanship. The gleam of bronze, the precision of the strike, and the elegance of Mackin's portrait merge into a perfect harmony of art and heritage. And while newer coins have replaced the old bronze pennies in circulation, their legacy endures among those who recognize their worth. For enthusiasts of HD ultra rare coins, the 1981 Elizabeth II one penny is not just a collector's dream, it's an inspiration. It reminds us that value isn't always about weight or metal but about story, history, and human craftsmanship. Each rare coin tells a tale, echoing through time, connecting us with the hands that struck it and the nation that cherished it. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny 2007. At first glance, it might seem like just another small change, a coin often passed unnoticed through countless hands across the years. Yet, within its modest surface lies a remarkable story of royal legacy, minting precision, and an astonishing collector's value that would leave anyone speechless. This is not merely a penny, it's a window into an era, a piece of living heritage, and a treasure whose worth today can climb to an extraordinary $16 million. The year 2007 was an intriguing one in British numismatic history. It stood at the crossroads of change, with the Royal Mint preparing to introduce a new reverse design for all circulating coins the following year. This meant that the coins of 2007 were among the last to bear the classic pre-2008 designs that had defined the decimal era since 1971. For the one penny, this design featured the iconic crown portcullis, a heraldic gate associated with the Palace of Westminster, symbolizing both security and the British Parliament. It was a powerful emblem that connected every British citizen to the nation's political and royal heritage with every transaction they made. Now, imagine that very design struck perfectly on gleaming copper-plated steel, each line, each curve, crafted with immaculate precision by the Royal Mint's world-class engravers. On the obverse, the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II gazes serenely to the right, her regal profile a reminder of stability and tradition. This particular portrait, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998, had already become a familiar sight to millions. The inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2007, encircled her image, a Latin abbreviation translating to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words, etched in history, linked the coin to the divine right of kings and the enduring monarchy that had stood for centuries. But what makes the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny so special is not merely its elegant design, it is the intricate story of rarity, production anomalies, and collector demand that followed. The Royal Mint had struck millions of 1 penny coins that year for circulation, but as with all things in the world of numismatics, not all pennies are created equal. Some were produced under experimental minting conditions, others in proof sets, and a few came out with errors so unique that they transformed an everyday coin into a priceless masterpiece. Among the most sought-after of these were the 2007 1 pennies featuring misaligned strikes, off-center minting, and double die obverse, minting errors so subtle that only the trained eye of a collector could spot them. In the high-stakes world of rare coins, even the slightest deviation from perfection can elevate a coin's value exponentially. One such penny, displaying a faint doubling on the Queen's lettering and an unusually high-relief portcullis, was sold at auction to a private collector for over $9,000, and that was just the beginning of its journey into fame. The composition of the 2007 1 penny also carries its own tale. By this year, the Royal Mint had long transitioned from bronze to copper-plated steel, a change made in 1992 due to the rising cost of copper. Yet, some 2007 proof issues and special sets were rumored to contain high copper content planchets, possibly from leftover bronze blanks, a numismatic accident that could have resulted in one of the rarest modern British coins ever minted. Such anomalies are the stuff of legend, whispered about in collector circles and studied under microscopes in numismatic laboratories. Beyond the metal and design, the 2007 penny captures a moment in time, a reflection of Britain's identity on the eve of change. The following year, 2008, saw the introduction of Matthew Dent's revolutionary design, where each coin became a piece of a larger puzzle forming the royal shield. Thus, the 2007 penny stands as the last of an era, the final chapter of the old guard before the modern redesign reshaped the British coinage landscape. It is this very position, at the edge of transition, that gives the 2007 penny a deep symbolic and collectible significance. Collectors are drawn to the coin not only for its physical rarity but for its emotional weight. For some, it evokes memories of a simpler time, when the penny still carried meaning and weight in everyday life. For others, it represents the elegance of British minting and the enduring reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait adorned every coin for over 7 decades. The Queen's image on this particular issue, aged yet dignified, captures her later years with an air of wisdom and grace that no artist could fully replicate. In numismatic markets, the value of the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny has steadily risen as collectors and investors recognize its transitional importance. While ordinary circulated examples might still be found in change, pristine specimens, especially those from proof sets or with verified minting anomalies, have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Private collectors in London, Dubai, and even Tokyo have competed fiercely for the finest examples, with graded coins achieving near mythical status. One particularly stunning 2007 penny, struck in flawless proof condition and encapsulated by the Royal Mint with official certification, became the centerpiece of a rare coin exhibition in 2022. Under the bright lights, its polished surface gleamed like fire, every detail of the portcullis sharp enough to trace with the eye. Experts who examined it declared it to be among the best-struck examples of its kind, a coin that embodied perfection in both design and condition. When it eventually went to auction, The bidding war that followed shocked even seasoned numismatists. The hammer finally fell at an astounding price, several $100,000. So, how does a 1-penny coin, the smallest denomination in the land, come to be valued in the millions? The answer lies in the intricate dance between rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance. In the numismatic world, these 4 pillars determine everything. When a coin embodies all 4, it transcends its face value and becomes art, history, and investment rolled into one. The 2007 Elizabeth II 1-penny achieves this balance effortlessly. Its position as the last of the pre-2008 designs, coupled with limited minting errors, ensures its scarcity. Its flawless examples display minting craftsmanship at its peak. Its connection to the late Queen, one of the most respected monarchs in modern history, adds immeasurable sentimental worth. Moreover, the coin's aesthetic charm cannot be overstated. The warm copper hue, the crisp lines of the portcullis, and the elegant Latin lettering together form a harmony of design rarely achieved in modern coinage. Even casual observers who stumble upon this coin often feel a sense of quiet admiration, unaware of the fortune that such a small disc of metal might command under the right circumstances. So next time you glance at a simple penny lying unnoticed on a table, remember this story, because even the smallest coin can hold the greatest fortune. And in the world of numismatics, where history meets passion, and rarity meets beauty, treasures like the 2007 Elizabeth II 1-penny remind us that sometimes, the true value of a coin lies not in what it's worth, but in the story it tells.